Greetings, Bat family. Welcome back to Holy BatCast, brought to you by Real Fans for Real Movies. Make sure you visit our website, holybatcast.com, or find us all over social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast, you will find us. If you love the show, you want to help support us, you can do that on Patreon. You go to patreon.com/holybatcast. And as always, a big thank you to our patrons. You guys are amazing. We love you. We appreciate the support. You guys make our lives so much easier. So truly, a big thank you to our patrons. You guys are awesome. We are part of the Real Fans Podcast Network. You can check out all those shows at rf4rm.com. And as always, I am your Bat host, Andy DiGenova. You can follow me on Twitter or on Instagram. It's just my name, Andy DiGenova. In this episode, we're going to talk some news, but the big news of the week is we finally have an official, bona fide, real first trailer for Black Adam. That's out there. It's a real thing. It happened. We're going to talk about it. We have a couple other things to talk about as well. We're going to answer your emails. You know, pretty standard one this week. Joining me for all this fun is my Bat brother from down under. It's Brendan Lowe. Hey, Brendan. Happy weekend.
Andy. Happy weekend to you too.
Thanks.
Yours is still you're still halfway through yours. Mine's mostly over.
Oh, that's the saddest.
Well,
Sunday night is sad.
Sunday morning, but
okay, yeah. I'm still well in smack dab in the middle of my weekend and enjoying it very much.
I'm on the downward slope to Monday.
Oh, no.
Or is it the upward hike? I'm not sure.
Yeah, something like that. But good. Thanks for joining. Thanks for making the time.
All right.
Good to have you back.
My pleasure.
All that stuff. You know.
Quick edit on the fly there.
Right. Sometimes my brain can step in and stop my mouth. Not always.
Yep.
But sometimes. Every once in a while, the brain will win.
I heard it.
Jamie's not with us, I'm afraid. Again.
No.
Yep.
You pulled out at the last minute, which can sometimes be a good thing. But
I was going to say, it might be his first time with all the kids he's got running around over there.
Very true.
But yeah, he's busy weekend. I don't know. I don't ask. It's none of my business. Live your life, Jamie. We love you. We miss you. But do what you got to do. It's fine. But I'm going to start docking your pay. I will say that. Sorry for those big Manscaped bucks. I'm just going to keep them for me if you can't show up to work. But that's okay. It's good to have you here. Just you and me. As always, it's nice. It's good to have other folks around, but sometimes it's nice to just have a date night with you.
It is. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
Like I said the other day, I'll bring the popcorn bucket with the hole cut out. And
good.
We'll just see where it goes.
Good. Again, like being a teenager all over again. Yeah. Last night, Catherine and I had a date night to go see Jurassic World Dominion.
Okay.
So last night I had that, and then tonight I get this date night. So it's a very busy weekend for me.
Just getting handies left, right, and center.
I know, right? I ask for so little. Anyway, we should talk about Manscaped. Manscaped, our sponsors, our friends, those who help us keep the show running. So manscaped.com. And guess what is coming up, Brendan? I should wish you in advance a happy Father's Day.
Okay, well, see, Father's Day's not in Australia until September.
Oh, really?
I don't know why. It's really weird. Like, Mother's Day is the same weekend as everywhere, but Father's Day is the first weekend in September.
Weird.
Don't know why. Don't ask.
I was unaware. See, I always learning new things. Well, happy American Father's Day, because it's coming up this week.
Thank you. Yeah.
My very first Father's Day.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Mine was really cool last year. You'll love it.
Yeah, Catherine's like, we get new holidays this year. I'm like, yeah, that's right. But Father's Day is here. It's coming right up. And so our friends at Manscaped are here to ensure that all the father figures out there are looking daddy good this June. So check out Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0. It includes their signature Lawnmower 4.0, and it's the perfect bundle to tackle any and all old man hair from head to toe. That's no dad joke. Treat your dad or whoever. Treat yourself, treat your dad. You're just your daddy figure, your father figure, whoever. Treat them and join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping by using our promo code BATSCAPED at manscaped.com. Trust me, his dad bod will thank you.
Well, his dad might be Bob.
It could be. If your dad is Bob, then it definitely works. His dad, Bob. But again, the Performance Package 4.0 has everything that you could possibly need for manscaping. It's got your lawnmower, your weed whacker, ear, nose, and hair trimmer, your body wash, your shampoo conditioner combo, your deodorant, your anti-chafing ball deodorant, the ball spray toner and boxers, and a travel bag. So it's the best sampler platter of Manscaped products. But if you don't want to commit that hard, that's cool. Do what you got to do what you're comfortable with. Buy yourself one thing. Try something. Sample it. But no matter what you buy, please use the promo code BATSCAPED for 20% off and free shipping. Because not only are you buying yourself something, you're treating yourself to something nice, or your father, or whoever.
Or Bob.
Or Bob, your dad, Bob. You're treating them, but you're also supporting the show. So please do. Go pick up something for Father's Day. It's not too late. They actually ship it quite quickly. And again, if you use Batscaped, you're going to get 20% off plus free shipping. And right now, if you go there, if something's already discounted, you can still get the extra 20% off by using Batscaped. You can't beat it. So please do that. You're supporting Manscaped, you're supporting us, and you're supporting yourself, and that's the most important thing. You've earned it. I'd buy it for you for Father's Day, Brendan, but you already have it.
Pretty sure that's somebody else's slogan, but
what's that?
You've earned it.
Is it? Who says that?
I think so.
I don't know.
I think it's like a female product, I think.
Oh, okay, well, whatever. Anyway. I'm taking it back. I'm using it here. So anyway, yeah, it's a perfect Father's Day gift for your husband, your loved one, your dad, whoever, and you can't beat the extra 20% off. So go to manscaped.com, do a little shopping, buy some Father's Day gifts. You can't beat it.
See, every time you say that, I want to jump in and say, I mean, and if you are going to beat it, I mean, use Manscaped.
This also helps, yeah, it's so helpful.
It keeps it nice and, yeah.
This is true. All right. Well, thank you. Again, thank you to everybody who's already ordered from Manscaped, and if you haven't, go check it out. But let's move forward with a little bit of news. Brendan, Father's Day is coming.
As you said.
And right after is July.
True.
And you know what's fun about July? July gives you and I a little loophole, because we can celebrate a little Christmas in July. We
can, I guess, yeah.
Do you do a little Christmas in July?
Not really. It's never, because I know in my heart it's not Christmas.
It's not the real Christmas, yeah.
It's not the real thing.
I get it. I do get it, but I dip my toe just a little bit. But it's never too early to start thinking about Christmas. And I'm not talking about Manscaped this time, but that would also be a great Christmas gift, so do that. I'm talking about Hallmark's keepsake ornaments.
Oh, okay. I wondered where you were going with this.
Yeah, you're like, Christmas, what is happening?
No, what? I mean, well, it's a day ending in Y, so I understand you're talking about Christmas, but I just didn't know how it related to news.
Just hear those sleigh bells ring-a-ling, jing, jingling too. Oh my God, sorry, this is completely off topic, but do you know what we're doing, Brendan, to our house here, now that we own a house, and it is ours, and we want to make it our own?
I don't know.
We are getting permanent holiday lighting installed at the end of the month.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Fully programmable for all holidays, and I never have to get on my roof again.
That is... Oh, man. I wonder if they do that here.
I'm so excited. We also feel like we should look at maybe redoing the flooring in the kitchen, but we would rather get the holiday lighting. Yeah.
I mean, no, you can't see that when you drive past.
I know, right? So anyway, so our heads are already kind of with Christmas and the holidays and preparing, but we're super excited about it. But I am a sucker for Hallmark's ornaments. They're not a sponsor. I'm just telling you this as a friend.
Christ, if they want to be, please.
Yeah. I mean, Hallmark, if you're listening, I've given you guys
as well as Manscaped do. I'm more than open.
I have given you guys years of free publicity, not just for your ornaments, but also for your fabulous Christmas movies that I watch.
All of them.
So Hallmark, if you're listening, give a brother a call. I'm sure I got space for you. Anyway, I'm a sucker for the ornaments. Do you get them there?
We don't get the selection that you guys do.
Okay.
But we do for the most part. But yeah, when I was in Hawaii around Thanksgiving in 2019 and I went to an actual Hallmark store, which we also don't have over here, we just get them in like Target and Kmart and stuff.
Got it.
I spent a fortune.
They're
on
so
keepsake
good.
ornaments. Yeah.
They're so good.
Ones
And
that I've just never seen over here.
last year, Hunter, our pal Hunter, he got me that Batman 66 Hallmark ornament that like animates and lights up and there's audio and it's not even an ornament. Like, I'm never going to hang that on my tree. It's just it's like a freaking living, breathing...
Like a little diorama.
Yeah, it's magical. Anyway, but it has a hook in case I want to treat it like an ornament. But I'm like, no, it's just going to sit on my shelf. Here's my point. That every year they do new DC ornaments, and I think half my tree is DC ornaments.
Mine's getting there.
Especially because, like, I will buy them. I will buy, like, the must-haves, and then I'll always check on December 26th and buy all the others at discounted prices.
Discounts, yep.
Yeah.
That's what I try and do.
And so, yeah, I have so many fun ones. Like, I have a Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern one that lights up green and it says the oath.
Wow.
Yeah. I have, like, all the Batmobiles. I think I've posted photos of that. I have, like, 89, Forever, BVS, and this year we'll be able to add the Batman Batmobile because of our DC selection of keepsake ornaments, that is one of them, is the new Pattinson Batmobile. There's also a Pattinson Batman ornament.
That one I'd be more interested in than the Batmobile.
Yeah. I mean, the completist in me is like...
Yeah, I know.
You know, if I've got the other Batmobiles, it should just be there too.
I've got 66 and Forever.
Okay.
Like the 66 one plays the theme, as you know, and the Forever one lights up blue, yeah.
Yeah. I have the Forever one. I don't think I have the 66 one, which makes me sad. But there is the Pattinson Batman one. It looks pretty good. There is a Crypto the Superdog one for the new DC League of Super Pets. There is a new version of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
Ooh.
And she's throwing the lasso. Looks really awesome.
Sweet.
And the big news of the week, there is a Black Adam Christmas ornament with the Rock's likeness, and this one comes with a cape. So, hooray for that.
Cool.
But yeah, so those are the big five for this year, at least the ones they've announced so far. All of them come out July 19th here, with the exception of Black Adam. That doesn't come out until November.
Okay.
But go check out the photos. They're all really cool. And like I said, I'm a sucker for Christmas. I'm a sucker for DC. I'm a sucker for Batman, as you know. So I am sure some of these will be joining the collection this year. And even though my tree is already as full as can be, I will find space.
I just found the photos of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they're great.
I wonder if the Batmobile does anything.
I would hope it lights up or something.
Yeah.
Because I'm also a sucker for how these ornaments will light up, or they'll have audio or something. Like it should light up, or it should like rev up, or it should have something. But yeah, I'm unclear as to whether. Well, let me click the link, see what it says.
I like the Pattinson Batman. Like if I were to get any of these, I'd probably get the Pattinson Batman, Crypto just because it's cool, and Gal Gadot, the new Wonder Woman one.
Yeah.
It is funny that 2 out of the 5 are The Rock.
Oh my God, you're right. I didn't even make that connection, but you're right. It seems like the Batmobile does not do anything. Sad.
What a surprise.
It just says key features, wheels turn. Great, but give me some lights, give me some music.
Keeping in line with the movie.
Oh man. You just want to watch the world burn, don't you?
It's pretty fun.
Anyway, so it's worth mentioning because I know you love Christmas. I know I love Christmas, and I'm a sucker for these. So when I saw this, I was like, you know what? For me, that is news worth reporting on.
Definitely worth mentioning because I didn't know about it, and now I'm excited. I'm literally taking a screenshot and sending it to Jess right now.
Perfect. Anyway, moving forward, talking about other things that are developing, James Gunn has done a recent interview with The Playlist, and he talked about upcoming DC projects. So he did say he talked about working on Peacemaker Season 2, but he clarified that the Amanda Waller series has not been officially announced.
Okay.
So he said, I'm working very seriously on another DC project where I'm very involved in the writing and direction of it. There'll be some blending of the characters from Peacemaker in other shows I'm working on, and I'm involved with a couple other DC things too. But when asked about any sequels to the Suicide Squad, he said, yeah, we've talked about it, but the honest truth is I just have so many hours in a day to work on stuff, and I had such a fun time working in television that I really think that's what I'm going to spend the next year of my life doing. So, not an official sequel as far as a movie to the Suicide Squad, but I think that a lot of these characters are going to live on based on whatever he's working on for HBO Max.
And look, it makes sense. I mean, it's tough because that movie came out when the pandemic was still rife. I mean, not saying that it's not now, but I mean in terms of, lockdowns were still very much a thing in a lot of the world when that movie came out. I know it was here. I didn't get to see it originally because of lockdown in the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And plus it was one of the straight to HBO Max ones. So even if, a lot of people just stayed at home to watch it. But yeah, it didn't have the best life in the cinema, but Peacemaker, it just took the ball and ran with it. So if you're going to look at both those models, Peacemaker, I would say, was by far the most successful in terms of fan reaction and critical acclaim.
Mm-hmm.
So why not continue down the path that seemed to be the winner?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not shocked to hear that the Suicide Squad doesn't have an active sequel in development because, there are a lot of reasons for it not doing huge at the box office, but still, the numbers are the numbers, and so it makes sense that they're like, let's exploit these characters and this IP in a different way, and HBO Max does feel like the way to go. So, Peacemaker Season 2, hell yeah, we talked about how pleasantly surprised we were with Season 1, how good that ended up being. If this Amanda Waller series pans out, I think that's really exciting too, because you could bring in some of those other characters, and that's what we talked about when that was announced. And so I'm definitely curious as to see what is coming and to see what he's working on. But if it is that Amanda Waller series, or maybe that Amanda Waller series is a Suicide Squad series.
Maybe
she's just the linchpin, right? And then they can bring other characters in and out as they feel is appropriate. So I'm on board for it, whatever, especially for HBO Max, because
season 3 confirms release date window with new photo.
Oh, was that I was gonna say it's not Siri, it's something, but yeah.
I was looking at an article for a news story that I'm assuming you're going to mention, and it started reading it to me.
Oh no, technology, you're ridiculous. Anyway, so interesting to hear what he's working on. It'll be interesting to learn more. I'm excited because, again, I was so happy with Peacemaker. And I did like the Suicide Squad. So, yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. So, that's James Gunn. He's out there talking. You know who else is out there talking to people? Tim Burton. The one and only
Yes,
Tim Burton.
He is.
So, June 19th is coming up. It's next week. It's a big day. It's Father's Day. That's part of the reason it's a big day. But it is also the 30th anniversary of Batman Returns.
It is. We should really do something about that.
Oh my gosh, we totally should. I think everybody who's listening should keep an eye on their podcast feed on June 19th. Maybe they should do that for some Batman Returns talk. But I do love these anniversary celebrations because, we get articles, we get interviews, and it's just fun to go back in time and relive the hype around these movies. And Empire did an interview with Tim Burton. So mostly it was about Batman Returns for the celebration for the anniversary, and he talks about a lot of things. He talked about the Batman. He has not seen it. He has not seen it yet. But he did say in regards to it, he said, it's funny to see this now because all those memories come back of it's too dark, so it just makes me laugh a little bit. And I think that's fair. of when Batman Returns, it's too dark, and you look at what we've got now, it's like, oh man, it looks like a birthday party. So he said that just about the Batman, but he hasn't seen it yet. He said, I'd like to see it. And then talking about Batman Returns' reception, and then what then became Batman Forever. And this quote was making the rounds all week, and it makes me laugh.
I saw it.
He says, back then, they went the other way. And that's the funny thing about it. But then I was like, wait a minute. Okay, hold on a second here. You complain about me, I'm too weird, I'm too dark, and then you put nipples on the costume? Go F yourself. Seriously. So yeah, I think that's why I didn't end up doing it. It made me laugh.
It's pretty funny.
It's good. It's a fair point. I will say, just for the record, though, and I've said it before, is like of all the issues I have with the two Schumacher films, the nipples are the least of my complaints. I really don't care. I just feel like it's low hanging fruit, but it still tickles me to hear Tim Burton talk about it.
I mean, look, part of me, I get it. Like, they're sculpting it around the human body. This person's meant to look like a human bat, and human bodies have nipples. But then you actually put it on there, and it does kind of look weird. Like, I get the thought process, but it looks weird.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no denying it.
Definitely. And then he also talked about like some of the backlash about Batman Returns being so dark, and the darkness that he is often considered, like, that goes hand in hand with who he is as a director. And he says, I'm not just overly dark. That represents me in the sense that that's how I see things. It's not meant as pure darkness. There's a mixture. I feel really fondly about that film because of the weird experiment that it felt like. And so I like that too. I love that he stands by the film. You know, I love the film. I love it more than you. But
I still really like it. Don't get me wrong.
But I appreciate that he looks back on it fondly, and I agree with him. I think that he had a much better balance of dark and fun and comic book and real than I think he often gets credit for. And so I agree, and I think we might talk about it when we celebrate the anniversary, just about how Burton doesn't often get the credit I think he deserves for how funny his movies are and the humor in them.
Yeah.
And I think this is it. He's like, yeah.
Sound like something we would talk about.
It does. It sounds like maybe a good thing to discuss later when we're going to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the film. But it's still that same kind of point where it's like, yes, like he likes things dark and weird. And he very much takes this point of view of the outsider looking in and everything, but all of his films have a pretty wicked sense of humor. They do have balance, and that's what he's saying. He's like, yeah, it's dark, but there's a mixture.
Yeah. If I know us and Jamie, pretty sure that's something that might come up in a conversation.
I mean, it's certainly possible.
If I know us, and I think I do.
Let me make a note of it right now. Don't forget to talk about that. If we do anything.
It's like that time we pre-recorded the Christmas episode of The Nightlight, like in early November, because I was going overseas, and you're like, yeah, it's December 21. I was like, well, shit.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun for you.
All right. So anyway, I appreciate his candor. I've always said that with filmmakers, or I mean, I guess anyone, when they're talking about a movie, like 20 years is the statute of limitations. Once 20 years has passed, everybody starts getting very honest about it, and that's when it's fun. So I love that. I just love that he's like, yeah, just telling it as he sees it, and it's very entertaining for me.
So what you're saying is, in 2037, Zack Snyder's going to have a lot to say.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's what I said during all of that. And I was like, I can't wait. In 20 years, someone's going to do a documentary on this and everybody's going to be free to talk about it.
I hope so.
So, anyway, very cool. But that's 30 years ago. Moving forward, we got Bat villains on the way. And something, it's funny, we talked about it on the last episode, and it's like the universe heard us. We were talking about Todd Phillips. We were talking about the rumor that he's going to serve as some sort of consultant for DC Films. And we said, yeah, there are rumors that the sequel to Joker is alive again, and it's very close to happening, but we'll kind of wait and see. And then as an answer, this week, yep, that is indeed the case. Joker 2 does seem to be moving forward. The script has been finished, and on Instagram, Todd Phillips posted Joaquin reading the script.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like Joaquin Phoenix in sunglasses reading a script. It's not very revealing, but
cool.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. I printed it out. It's my phone wallpaper. So anyway, the script is finished and it has a subtitle. Right now it says Joker Folie à Deux.
Okay.
And it says written by Scott Silver and Todd Phillips. And Folie à Deux means madness for two.
Yeah, I mean, and people are kind of jumping to conclusions with that, or assumptions, I should say. And I hope they're right, because, like I said, was it last week we were talking about it? I'm gonna need some hook to get me excited for this movie.
Yeah. I mean,
because I don't think it's a sequel you need to make.
I know.
But hey, money talks.
It does. So, yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. And it's funny because, you know, we've talked about in the past, Joker, I think it's a good movie. It's just a good movie that didn't really do much for me. And so I personally have no stake in a sequel. I am not really asking for it. I'm not even really looking forward to it. But bringing in Harley Quinn, that's a way to get me interested, especially if they cast someone great and some great actor to play Harley, bouncing off Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, to see the next steps of this Joker. I'm curious, so I'm certainly willing to go along for the ride, and hopefully I like it more than the first one. But it's not entirely surprising that it's moving forward. It's just one of those things where it's like, it seemed like it was going to happen, and then it went quiet, and then there was rumors, and then it went quiet. So you just never know, but...
I kind of like the first one.
Yeah, this is true. So... yes, I mean, the big assumption is that Madness for 2 means Joker and Harley, and I'm totally down for that. I mean, I'm certainly interested in that. I don't know what else it could be, to be honest.
I mean, it could be Batman. I don't think it will be. But...
Yeah. That's exactly it. It's like, could be, probably should be, probably won't be.
But then again, there'd have to be a hell of a time jump.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah. So, happening. Moving forward. It'll be interesting.
I don't know if you've got it down there, but just if I could throw in a segue of, speaking of Harley Quinn, did you see that they've announced that Season 3 is coming at the end of your summer?
Yes.
Towards the end of your summer?
Yes, I did see that, actually. Thanks for bringing it up, because I did not have that on my list of things to...
That's what my phone started reading to me about.
Oh, well, thank you. So, yeah, so we won't have to wait for the sequel to Joker to see some more Harley Quinn. How about that?
And this I am looking forward to.
Yeah. Well, I will say, just before we move on to that, is like I saw a little bit of like infighting on Twitter. Shocking, I know. It never happens, but it must have been an off day. About like, oh, why would you introduce a new Harley when we already have a great Harley in Margot Robbie? But like, I love Margot Robbie as Harley, but I feel like you're not going to bring her into this.
You can't use her. No,
so, like,
it doesn't make any sense at all.
I mean, we've got multiple Jokers anyway, so why not multiple Harleys? She's a big enough character that she can totally be that. So, yeah. I just saw a little bit of like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. We've already got Margot. And it's like, yeah, but like, I don't think this has anything to do with Margot. Like, no. There's no reason you couldn't bring her back for another project and still have a different version of Harley for this.
Yeah, like, this movie is set before she was even born.
Yeah,
yeah. It doesn't make sense at all.
So, anyway, I wanted to acknowledge that. But yes, the Harley animated series, which it feels like it's been ages, which I think it has been.
A while.
Yeah, it's been so long.
2020, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Season 3 is finally coming at the end of the summer. There isn't a date yet, though. They just said end of summer of 2020. Oh my God, what year is it? 2022?
2022.
Yeah, it is 2022.
It is. It's like that.
Yeah, I always have to second guess myself, especially because at work, I have to work on so many schedules that for the next 3 years, like with dates for the next 3 years. And it gets really confusing because I start talking about what are we doing in 2023 and what are we doing in 2024, and then I'm like, wait, what year is it now?
And the last two have just blended into one.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see the return of the animated Harley. I love that show. And
I love that show so much.
Just since we're talking about animated series on HBO Max, I just finished Young Justice today.
Okay, I'm still way behind.
Yeah, we got the season finale, and I watched it today, and it's great. They ended really strong. It's really awesome. So they still haven't been picked up for season 5, so we're out there trying to tweet our support. Mostly, you just watch it. Like, if the more you watch it, the more they realize, hey, people are watching this. But it ended really strong. It's one of those where I feel like every season has done this, where it hasn't. It has enough of an ending where if this is it, it's okay. But it certainly also teases things for the future. So the season started rough, and I was like, what are they doing? And then it got its footing and it pulled it in together and it ended really strong. And I think by the end, it's really back to its prime. So really enjoyed that.
See, the issue is I think that's one that there isn't a way to access that strictly legally here in Australia.
Really? Yeah. You still don't have HBO Max, right?
No, we've got Binge, which gets, I
Some
would
of
say, a vast majority of like the HBO Max original stuff.
Yeah.
Goes straight to Binge, but this isn't on there, well, not to my knowledge anyway. I haven't seen it on there, so.
Nice. Well, I hope it comes to you in a legal way.
So do I.
Anyway, let's get to the big news of the week. We finally got our first official trailer of Black Adam. I saw it when it premiered on the internet, and then I saw it last night before Jurassic World Dominion.
Oh, cool.
So it was fun to see it on the big screen, and I thought it was very smart to get it there, to get it out there in time for Jurassic World, and then it can play in front of movies all summer long before it comes out on October 21st. So I know you'd been asking for this, and now we've got it, so I want to hear your thoughts.
Where to start? I had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, who messaged me and was like, "What did you think of the Black Adam trailer?" It looks entertaining. It looks like it will be like, it looks well made and everything. The problem I have with this movie, and I think I kind of hinted at it last week when I was just like, I wish I could be as excited for this movie as The Rock tells me I should be. But the problem is, like, to me, Black Adam, I'll put my hand up. I don't know a hell of a lot about the character. But what I do know is, to me, Black Adam is the yin to Shazam's yang. Like, those two characters, you know, they're two sides of the same coin. Like, he's Shazam's arch nemesis. He's what Shazam could be if Shazam didn't have the humanity of Billy Batson in him. You know, and we all know this movie's being made because The Rock wants to play Black Adam. Mm-hmm. And obviously, you know, you're going to give The Rock his own movie. It's just not a character I really care about, to be perfectly honest. And look, I'm happy that they've put him around some characters that I do care about, like, you know, particularly Hawkman and Dr. Fate. I can't. What's the green character's name? That's in the JSA, the female one.
Cyclone.
I mean, I don't know anything about Cyclone.
She's pretty obscure, to be fair.
I don't know a hell of a lot about Atom Smasher. If it was the Atom, I'd be with you. It's, yeah, I would be more excited, I think, if this was a straight up JSA movie with more recognizable characters from that era. And I'd be more excited about The Rock playing back Black Adam if it was in a Shazam movie. And you know, they really, if they want to tell Black Adam's story and make him a big character, like, put him in Shazam 2, make it kind of about him. To, you know, I mean, the Batman movies did it for however many years. Like, the movies are about the villains, let's be honest. And then, you know, do a sequel where it's the big showdown of, you know, Shazam and Black Adam, and hell, throw Cavill in there, make it an event. Like, that would get me excited. I'm just not feeling it for this movie. Like, I'm obviously going to go see it. I'm going to go see it opening weekend because it's a DC movie and I'm me and that's what I do. I still don't know what this movie is. You know, like, is it going to be like Black Adam's this sympathetic villain? Am I meant to feel sympathy for him? Am I meant to like the character by the end of the movie? And if so, then am I then meant to hate him if they put him up against Shazam? Which I hope to Christ they do, because like I said, he's the yin to the yang. Like, he's the arch nemesis. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to get in it. Not in like a spoiler way. I just don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this movie, because the trailer didn't really tell me anything. And yeah, it's just.
I mean, it told you some things, and some of the things that directly address what you're asking, where Dr. Fate literally says you have two choices. You can be the destroyer of this world, or you can help to save it.
True.
Which is, I mean, that's the question, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I'd be more excited seeing this character who, let's be honest, Black Adam's kind of an obscure character if you're not, into Shazam and stuff. Like, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm gonna go see it. It looks good, but I'm more excited about seeing Hawkman and Dr. Fate than I am any other character. And I probably shouldn't feel that way about a movie called Black Adam starring The Rock.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand all your points, and I don't even disagree with them. It's just, that's all stuff I made peace with 5 years ago. When they announced Black Adam was going to be in his own movie and not just popping up in a Shazam movie. So I'm like, I already knew what we were getting. It's fine. Like, yes, I always assumed that Black Adam would be the villain in the Shazam film, and that's not the way they wanted to go, because The Rock wanted to play him. And so I'm like, no, it's fine. That's fine. Give Black Adam his own movie. It's cool. And I will say, I felt more like you did back then, but then when they told us they were incorporating the JSA, especially Hawkman, I'm a big Hawkman fan. I was like, well, awesome. Like, at least it's a Black Adam film that is now embracing a larger DC universe, and that gets me even more excited. I am very confident we are going to get a setup for him and Shazam in this film, especially because Shazam 2 comes out 2 months later. Yeah, so I would hope so. I'm not even worried about that. But I understand your points, but again, I've already just accepted that of like, we are going to have Black Adam here, who, in my comics knowledge, has always been a villain. But The Rock has been saying it since God knows when, that, oh no, Black Adam's an anti-hero. It's like, well, I mean, maybe. I don't know which comics you're reading, but the ones I read, he's never an anti-hero. He's always pretty much a villain. But that's fine. If we want to make him an anti-hero because you're playing him, I'm going to go along for the ride. I'm not going to get too upset about it. As for the trailer, I think it's a great trailer. I'm actually very into it. There's certainly scope. There's some really great action here. I think it looks a lot of fun. I think the biggest drawback I have from the trailer is that most of the big money shots is stuff we already saw.
Yeah. And
that's a little disappointing, is like, because of the teases we've gotten thus far, those are sort of the big wows in the trailer. There are still some cool new moments, but the reveal of the 4 JSA members we got in that DC Films promo that came out a few months ago.
That's now null and void.
Exactly. So, like, those shots would have been the things I was losing my mind about in this trailer, but I'd already seen them. Although, I'm sure you noticed, they tweaked the Atom Smasher shot so that now all of, like, he has, like, glowing energy around him. And on the logo...
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah. So, like, there's been more effects added to that shot, so it looks a little cooler. He's a little more glowy. The Cyclone shot, where it looks like she's sort of flying over the city and she's almost a blur, that's new, and that's really cool, because the last shot we got of her was just on the ship in costume, so it was nice to see her powers at work. But yeah, like the reveal of Hawkman, we had already seen that. That Atom Smasher, we had already seen that. The Dr. Fate shot, where he is distorting reality, is also very cool. I'm super into that too. But again, like, it takes away a little bit of the excitement when we've already seen a lot of it. The scene where Black Adam is faced with all those, I guess they're mercenaries or something, in the cave, and they all attack him and he attacks back. We saw that as a tease at Fandom. So a lot of that is cut into this trailer. It's still cool. I still like it, but I was like, oh yeah, I've seen that. So I think for me, that was what drew me back from being totally over the moon about the trailer, is that a lot of the stuff is stuff we had already seen. But once I set that aside, I think it's a really good trailer. It's a really good trailer at selling this idea of Black Adam for audiences who might not be familiar with him. They go, okay, it's The Rock. He's got superpowers. He comes from, ancient times and was reborn as a god. It gives them enough information. And it really does put out the central moral quandary that he is going to have, is that he's obviously ruthless. Hawkman has given him a whole lecture about there are villains and there are heroes, and heroes don't kill people. I was amused when he said, well, I do. I thought that was pretty funny. But like I think that's the movie is Black Adam, who is traditionally more villainous, him trying to kind of get past that and grow and do something heroic. It seems like the JSA are trying to steer him onto the path of righteousness. He just can't stand it long if he's going to end up fighting Shazam.
True. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the real question after all of this is, come October, Andy, do you think that the hierarchy of the DC universe is going to change?
I mean, obviously. How could it not?
I know, I admire the guy's enthusiasm. I mean, he is enthusiasm personified, that man, but it's being talked up and hyped up so much by him, and I'm just not there. Like, I really wanted something in that trailer to make me have like a fist bump, like F yeah, like yeah kind of moment. And it my highlight of the trailer was a part that I laughed at, was when that mercenary goon, whatever, like you just see like the like him flying across into the, like, that was my favorite part of the trailer, and that was a gag.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he smacks the Black Adam with the club, and it just completely bends on his face, and then that cutaway of him just being tossed. I like that too. I thought that was great.
That was cool. But I don't know, like I just really wish The Rock had kind of just, made our expectations more realistic, I guess.
Yeah. No, and again, I think that's fair. I think, like I said, for me, the reason I didn't have that like fist pump of like, holy crap, was because we'd seen bits and pieces of a lot of this, and that I think takes away a little bit of that excitement. But for the general audience who weren't already following this, who did not tune into DC fandom, I think it's a good introductory trailer. There's also some nice moments in there where at the beginning he's like being put into this like a stasis tank or something, and I've got to wonder, like it's being done while the voiceover is saying, oh, I was reborn as a god. And it's like, it's almost implying that that's how he got his powers, which we know was not the case. But it's like, ooh, I've got to imagine that's how he got to present day, as there was maybe a moment where he was kind of captured and was put into this stasis, and he is now emerged in present day. Or it could be from the end of the film where that happens, where they essentially neutralize him. And he goes into that, and that's where we find him in Shazam or whatever. So I think it
looks like it could be a sequel to the Scorpion King from the start of it.
a little bit. Well, it is interesting that the whole thing seems to take place like in the Middle East.
Yeah.
At least as far as what we're seeing in the trailer, that it all seems to be taking place there. I also will say, I don't know who these troops are. I don't know who they are, but there's like these futuristic troops with like cool futuristic helmets, and they're riding like rocket bikes, and they're really cool. Like they're almost like speeder bikes in Star Wars. I like their looks as well. I don't know who they are or what they're up to, but the design of just sort of these sci-fi troops that obviously are going to be a pain for the JSA and for Black Adam, I really thought they looked cool too.
Yeah, I obviously watched this trailer a couple of times the other day when it dropped, and then I watched it again this morning on the big TV before we recorded, and Jess hadn't seen it, and her takeaway was, I like the Titanic hand at the end.
Yeah, right. I mean, it is a great shot where he grabs that rocket. I think it's awesome, but again, it's not cool. It's not the big wow. It's just cool.
Yeah,
and I think that big wow is what this trailer was missing.
Yeah.
It's got to make you happy that most of it was narrated by Pierce Brosnan.
Look, the fact that we've got The Rock and Pierce Brosnan on our side of the fence at DC, that makes me very happy, because I mean, The Rock is the biggest movie star on the planet, has been for what, 5-6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I don't want to sound like I'm poo-pooing the movie, because I am. like I said, I'm going to be there opening day. It's a new DC movie, or at least opening weekend. It's a new DC movie. I'm looking forward to it on that regard. I just don't know how I'm going to feel about it. Like, it's just, I'm still yet to see why this is a movie I should be super excited about.
All right.
For me personally.
Yeah, that's fair enough. One of our listeners did when I tweeted this, and I was like, oh, I think it looks great. And they're like, oh, does it bother you that we don't see the wizard giving him his powers? And I honestly didn't even think of it. Didn't even cross my mind. It will be interesting to see how they approach that. If it's just going to be Jimon Hansu from Shazam playing the same role, or if they're going to cut around it. But I do think the trailer cuts around it. So I'm not worried about it, because it seemed like the concern was, oh, maybe they changed his origin. I don't think that's the case, because when he's talking about being reborn as a god, the footage is from that fandom trailer when he's in the cave. So it's not like that's the moment he got his powers. That's just the image they used during that part of the trailer. So yeah. For anybody who's worried about that, I'm not worried about it, because I think that the trailer is cutting around it. But I would love to have that connective tissue of the same wizard from Shazam, especially because in Shazam we got the nod to Black Adam.
True. Yeah, and that, I mean, they kind of set it up there. And that like holograph, whatever you want to call it, like it's The Rock. Like it is absolutely The Rock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I would love that connective tissue. I'm excited for what they're going to use this movie for to set up Shazam 2 months later. But even on its own, like, it is crazy that we're getting a Black Adam movie, but hey, this is the world we live in now, where even the most obscure superheroes or comic book characters are prime for a movie or a TV show. And so I'm not mad at it, and especially because it is The Rock, it's going to get a lot of eyeballs on it. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited about the movie.
Yeah, I hope. I mean, and look, cinema does seem to be coming back in a big bad way this year, and so it should. I hope that the Rock playing a superhero is a big enough draw card for people who don't follow this stuff like we do, or have no idea who Black Adam is, if it's enough to get bums on seats. Yeah, for sure. I hope so as well. I hope it works on multiple levels, in that for people who are just suckers for superhero movies, they're like, great, new superhero movie. For people who just like The Rock, whatever. I think that it's very marketable for that reason. Yeah.
There's also the really great shot of him flying alongside those fighter jets.
Yeah, that was a cool shot.
That was really cool. Just the way he's flying, like, he looks great. And the way he just effortlessly smashes the wing of one of those jets is also pretty badass. But that's why I'm like, I do feel like they're very consciously being like, he's not Superman. He's not a hero. He's got anger issues. Like, because, he just smashed that fighter jet. So I do think that's the whole arc of the movie, is essentially getting this bad guy to do the right thing for the sake of, more people.
I'd like to see that scene, like, edited into, like, one of the Top Gun movies, just for a laugh.
Maverick.
Yeah.
There's also a really great reveal shot of him with his cloak, just, like, walking out of, like, fire and explosions and everything. So I'm a sucker for a good
slow motion firewalk.
Hell yeah. What's not to like about that? And the cloak.
The cloak does look cool.
Yeah, it looks great. So, again, like, there's nothing I don't like about the trailer. Let me put it that way. I just want more, so maybe I'm just greedy.
I still am just not as pumped for the movie as I'd like to be.
Yeah.
Seems to be a running theme this year with DC movies that I really hope changes.
I'm pumped. Like, I think bringing in the JSA and bringing in these characters was really smart. And especially for me, like, I love Hawkman. I've always loved Hawkman. I love Aldous Hodge. I think he's great, and I think he looks great in this. So, to get a cinematic Hawkman is really exciting, and I'm super into that.
Aldous Hodge played the friend in The Invisible Man, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
And he was such a standout in that movie. Yeah. So I'm into it. And then also, along with this trailer, DC Comics dropped that they were going to do one-shots about the different JSA members, but the covers were new photos of each of the four.
Yes, they're very nice too.
They're great. They're beautiful. And I was like, oh man, like I love the design work of everyone. I think Black Adam looks great. I think all 4 of the JSA members look great. I think their ship looks cool as hell too. I'm into that. But that was just a nice bonus too of being like, oh man, it's great to get another look at these guys. They look awesome. I think, yeah, design wise, I think they nailed it.
No, I don't know. I might have to go back to Comixology and get those when they drop, because I can't imagine they'll drop them on DC Universe.
They will, just 6 months.
6 months,
late?
yeah, after the movie's already out.
So it just depends on when you want to do it.
Yeah.
But I also am a sucker for movie tie-in comics.
Yeah, I mean, look, it would be cool if, because these are tie-in comics, if they did make them available on DC Universe, but even just to be like, hey, you can get these now, but you need to pay for them. Like, I'd rather buy them through DC Universe than Comixology.
Yeah. Very true. So, Black Adam is coming October 21st. Like I said, I think it was really smart to get this trailer out for most of the summer movie season. Considering how much Maverick is making, maybe they should have released it a couple weeks earlier, but
right.
That's okay. It's okay. Jurassic World is not bad, and there are going to be plenty more movies coming out all summer long, and lots of time to hype this up for October 21st. And then, again, it's just the first trailer. We will get another one, and I hope that it gets you a little more hyped up. But as it is, I think it looks great.
I mean, look, it's not going to be a bad October. We'll have a new DC movie and a new Halloween movie out at the same time.
What more could you want? Who could ask for anything more? Yeah, I'm excited about it. It'll be good. So yeah, Black Adam coming our way October 21st. There will be another trailer, I am sure, sometime late summer, early fall, for that last big push to the release of the film. But it's also nice to get like something like this that feels like an event movie in October.
I wonder when they're going to do Fandom this year.
Oh man, because it's usually August, right?
Yeah, but it was in October last year. It was later last year.
Yeah.
So if they do Fandom in October, like, it could be a very big feature.
That is true. All right, cool. Black Adam coming our way. First trailer. Pretty badass. Anything else news-wise that I have failed to mention?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Well, great.
Friggin' cold sitting here recording, I can tell you that.
Bundle up. It's like Christmas, see? Christmas in June.
It's only 5.9 here, which I just did a quick calculation, works out to like 42 for you.
Well, that's still pretty chilly.
It's chilly. I mean, it's not like Chicago cold where you grew up, but for Brisbane, this is cold.
That's pretty chilly. All right. Well, cool. First trailer for Black Adam. I think it's awesome. Brendan thinks it's pretty good. and we'll see how it goes, but I'm excited about it.
Who knows what Jamie thinks?
Yeah, that's true. Well, we'll find out next time we record. Anyway, that'll do it for the news, but we're not going to say goodbye just yet because we got to crack open the Wayne Manor mailbox. It's time again for the Wayne Manor mailbox.
You've got mail.
Darren. What is a letter for me?
Maybe temporary.
She wrote a letter.
You're one hell of a messenger.
This is all Master Wayne.
Forgot to call y'all fine feathered finks, but that's what you are. You know it. Accept it. It's fine. All right, let's see here. First email is from Mark Bickford. It says, hey guys, I know you talked about the Gotham Knights trailer already, but I had a couple thoughts. I think it's obvious that the Joker's daughter character, whoever she is their designated Harley substitute. Obviously, that's because Harlan DiGenova is apparently lazy and hasn't got her SAG-AFTRA card yet. It's true. It's true. I told Harley, like, don't take less than you're worth. Number two, I'm concerned that even though Stephanie Brown showed up a bit in the trailer, they never named her. She wasn't in the still photo. And now I'm worried she may only have a bit part or vanish after the pilot. Let's hope not. 3, can we pause for a second out of respect for the Batwoman fans who had the trailer come out over the CW Batwoman social media accounts on Javicia Leslie's birthday? That had to hurt. I hope they haven't cut Amber Heard from Aquaman going forward. I think there are a couple big things she brings to the role, and if they're going to replace her, I've got to ask, is Kate Upton available? Because she can bring those two things as well. Oh, okay.
So who was available?
Kate Upton?
Okay, Kate. Okay, cool. Sorry, I missed the name.
He's making a boob joke.
Okay.
Also, to go back to the question last week about characters being misused, I'd like to mention Mary Marvel in the Final Crisis era. At some point, she had decided Billy was lame and started hanging out with Black Adam. Her costume changed from red or white to black with a hip-hugging miniskirt with a hemline that kept inching closer and closer as she got darker and darker. All that left her vulnerable to Darkseid, who was able to hit her with the anti-life equation, and the story culminated in Final Crisis number 5, where she has a big brawl with Supergirl. Took a lot of work to get to let's have Mary Marvel fight Supergirl, and then the lowest point comes when Supergirl smashes Mary into a building, and Mary's response, lying in the rubble, is literally to call Supergirl a slut. Kara's response is roughly, I know you are, but what am I? Evil Mary Marvel pulling out that word because she's losing a fight. Yeah, that's what every Mary Marvel fan wants to read. Did you guys ever read that one? As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Sorry, this is long. I hope it's coherent because I'm writing at 3:30 in the morning. Have a great week, Mark. Thanks, Mark. I think it makes sense. Overall, the Gotham Knights stuff, I think we covered it. You make some valid points, and yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and I didn't realize that they used the Batwoman social media accounts to share the trailer. That's crazy.
It's like any of the CW stuff. They usually post it on all of them. Like it's just a blanket. Yeah.
And I have a vague recollection of Evil Mary Marvel, but I certainly didn't read this story, so that is news to me. Brandon?
No, I've never read it.
But it's funny that you bring that up this week. I guess I'll just say that. In regards to Young Justice.
Oh, okay.
All right, next email is from Hugh Morris. It says, hey, Holy BatCast fam. Tomorrow, if you could watch a Batman movie again for the first time, which would it be? I'm torn between Begins and The Dark Knight. I hope all is well. All right, Hugh, thank you. Do we actually go back in time, or is it like just wiped from our memory and we have to watch it again for the first time?
That's a really good and harder than you would think question to answer.
I know, because that's two different things, you know. Like, if I could go back in time and rewatch a Batman movie for the first time, it would be Batman '89. Because I saw it in the Chicago Ridge Mall with my grandma Ruth. I want to relive that afternoon. Like,
yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, if I could go back in time, for me, it would be Forever and Begins. Yeah,
But if it's like just to like see the movie for the first time, I think I would go with The Dark Knight, because I said it before, The Dark Knight, like watching that movie the first time, I was just so like sucked in in a crazy way. And like, I held my breath, I think, for 2.5 hours watching The Dark Knight the first time. So if we're talking about just the movie itself, I'd probably say The Dark Knight. But if we're talking about the actual experience of when we saw it, I would go with Batman '89.
Look, I think I'm with you with Dark Knight, I think. Yeah, a bit of a twist on it too. I'd like to watch BVS again for the first time, but without the the swarm of tweets and reviews and controversy around it when I saw it. That sort of took away from the experience. So yeah, that's another one I'd throw out there with a bit of a caveat.
All right, cool.
It's a really good question though.
Yeah. All right, next message is from Liam. It says, hey guys, I hope all's well. I got a question that I meant to ask as a nod to one of Andy's favorite jokes. Outside of the Joker, who do you think is the biggest cunt in the Bat universe?
Holy hell.
And no, you can't say Brendan. Keep up the good work. All the best, Liam. Well, first of all, when I call Brendan a, it's not a joke. It is the honest to goodness truth, and I stand by it. But if we got to pick characters, we got to get characters in the Bat universe. Brendan, who is the biggest? See you next Tuesday.
Oh, for me, it's Damian Wayne.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
But I guess in another way you could look at it, Joe Chill.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
Because like if it weren't for him, you know, he destroyed this child's life, and look how many lives have been destroyed, arguably because of that. You know, like talk about the butterfly effect. But yeah, if we're talking just straight up, for me it's Damien.
Okay.
Hands down, not even close.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go with Bane.
Okay.
Because he just destroyed Batman, like, just out of pride. Like, Batman never did shit to Bane, and Bane's like, I must break him. It's like, why? He didn't do nothing to you. You want to talk? That's a crazy thing to do.
I think President Lex is another one.
Okay. So, and yeah, when I watched Dark Knight Rises, that fight, I mean, come on, that is...
It's brutal.
Yeah, it's just an a-hole. So I'm going with Bane.
It's not enough to break his back, but to split the mask in half. And then just throw it to the side.
Right.
Like,
just punch his head 15
like...
times until his mask breaks. Come on, he's already down. Stop. He's dead already.
Stop. He's already dead.
All right. Next message is from Carrie Vanderberg. It says, hey, a couple more questions. I recently watched The Untouchables. I noticed that the actor who played Frank Nitti would have been a perfect physical match for the Joker in the late 80s, early 90s. The actor was Billy Drago, and he was slender with a sharp nose and creepy smile. He would have been perfect, but he wasn't a name actor. Would you have wanted to see him as the Joker? While I'd hate to give up Nicholson, I'm sure that he would have killed it. Number 2, I know you like the DCEU films, but what are your thoughts on the Nightmare timeline, specifically in BVS and Zack Snyder's Justice League? Personally, I think it's one of the ballsiest, most intriguing, and most out-of-the-box concepts ever created for the DC characters. It's essentially Mad Max with DC. Plus, I love a Days of Future Past storyline where the heroes have to go back in time and have to stop one horrible event in the past to prevent the future from happening. I hope one day we can see a full version of it. That's it. Hope you guys have an amazing week. Carrie. Thanks, Carrie. Well, I've never seen The Untouchables, and I don't know who Billy Drago is.
It's a good movie. I've done a Google image search. I can absolutely see it. In the Untouchables, looking at some of the photos, he actually kind of looks like... they don't ever really call him Jack, I don't think, but the Joker... pre-Joker in Mask of the Phantasm. It's kind of what he looks like. Yeah,
I just pulled up a photo. I can totally see that. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not familiar enough with his acting. Oh, he died. Oh, sad. But as far as looks go, yeah, I could totally see it.
Absolutely.
And then the Nightmare timeline. What do you think about that, Brendan?
I'd definitely be down to see it. Would I be more interested in seeing like a sequel to Zack Snyder's Justice League that is the fully formed Justice League in the current timeline up against a new threat? Yes, that's what I would rather see. But I'm very intrigued and curious by the Nightmare timeline. I don't know. I've already seen a movie of Batman versus Superman. I'd rather see them move forward from there.
Yeah, same. I think it's intriguing, and it's certainly, as you say, a very out of the box idea, and I respect that. But it's also not really. It's not what I am most intrigued about, or what I would most want to see with the continuation of that Justice League universe. It's, I think there are other things they could do that I think I'd be more excited about than the Nightmare. So yeah, I think it's intriguing, but it sounds like I'm not quite as into it as you are. I think I said this before. When I kept going back to see BVS in the theater, that was what I used for my bathroom break, was the nightmare scene. Because it happened like at a good time, like right in the middle of the movie, and it's also like, well, for this movie, it's not that important. Like, I can just go to the bathroom.
I love the scene. Like, it's a great scene, and they don't even try and hide the fact that it's Richard doing all the stuff. Like, it doesn't even remotely look like Ben. But yeah, I mean, I love the scene for what it is, but I get what you're saying.
All right, next email is from Todd. It says, hey, I'm a big fan of the podcast. I've been listening for many years. I've seen this musical about Batman and Robin called Holy Musical Batman. It's 2 hours of Batman and Robin singing and dancing and all the villains of the Rogues Gallery. Check it out. It's not really a question, but it's something that maybe you guys could review. Thanks, Todd. I feel like we've been...
I was going to say, I've got
it's been mentioned before, yes, but I've never watched it. I'm terrible, but...
And I like musicals, but I don't think I want to see a Batman musical.
Unless it's the one from Batman Beyond. That one I was into.
Yeah.
They were cowardly and superstitious lot. Whatever it was. I like that.
Or if it's Batman, if it's Kevin Conroy singing I'm Blue.
Yeah. See, there are exceptions.
Yeah.
One of these days I just got to remember to check it out. So I appreciate the reminder, but yeah, I've still never seen it. All right. Next message is from Gaurav Venkateswar, who makes our music. He's a super nice guy, friend of the show. He says, hey guys, I heard another listener write in about Batman the Imposter, and I wanted to chime in and say that I enjoyed it. The question reminded me of some other comics I recently got. Earlier this year, for my 40th birthday, my wife surprised me with a number of comics and graphic novels, amongst other gifts. She knows almost nothing about them, but made her way to Midtown Comics in New York and spent time asking for a variety of suggestions. Not all were DC. There were some awesome graphic novels about civil rights icon John Lewis, but some of the DC ones I really enjoyed DC Black's Strange Adventures. Have you read that one? It focuses on Adam Strange, but there's a decent amount of Batman as well as Mr. Terrific, amongst other characters. I recommend you check it out. I love the art and the storyline. That's all. Keep up the great work and man grooming, Gaurav. Thank you, Gaurav. I don't know that one either. Strange Adventures. I'm not familiar with it. I know not a lot about Adam Strange, if I'm being honest. But if Batman's in it, now I'm more interested.
Yeah, all I took away from that is Midtown Comics. And have you ever been there?
No, I'm not.
Oh wow, it's awesome. I was there in 2014. I spent quite a bit of time in that store. It's hard when you're overseas traveling because, again, like the selection at a lot of these places is just phenomenal, but you have to worry about weight and things to get home.
Yeah.
So really
how much can you pack to get home?
Really got to be careful. I don't think I bought any comics from there, weirdly enough, but I did buy a handful of maybe 5 or 6 Batman paperback novels that I didn't have when I was there. But yeah, it's a really cool store right there in Times Square.
I know it's kind of famous, but I haven't been to New York in ages, and the last time I went, it was with Scotty and his parents, so I really didn't have a say into where we went. I was just sort of tagging along. So it's one of those things where, yeah. Next time I get there, I should check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, next message is from Tom Fallows. It says, hey, Holy BatCasters. First, I want to say I'm a little worried about Brendan. He's been a little bit negative this past year. He didn't like the aesthetic of the Batman, he didn't like Batman Beyond, and he didn't even care for Epilogue. So I'm saying this to all Holy BatCast fans. With just one vote, we can get our cuddly koala back. So let's vote for the Batman for the next animated series.
Okay. I'm thinking, dear God, he's not going to like this episode very much.
Yeah, Brendan can't even get excited about Black Adam. This is why he's the biggest in the DC universe.
You stop making work for yourself, dude.
It's worth it. It's worth it. You deserve it. Sorry about it. Okay. It's fine. Anyway, it says, okay, I got to go find a place to convert Australian dollars. Keep up the great podcast, Tom Fallows. Thanks, Tom. So he's really trying to help you. We're trying to get you in a better headspace instead of just being our negative Nancy.
Point A, I apologize, Tom. I don't like being this way, but I've got to be honest. I'm not going to come on here and lie. Yeah, so I mean, It is what it is. As point B, thank you for your vote. And I will say, there's been a bit of traction on Twitter this last week for the Batman. I haven't seen any for the other ones. I'm just saying.
I don't know. No, I definitely got a tweet. Someone who said you should do Young Justice.
Okay. I still think we should do all the Batman-centric ones first, and then after that,
I mean, Batman was like not in season 4 of Young Justice like at all until the last episode.
That's what I meant when I said going chronologically, and there was someone said about, I saw a tweet about
Justice
you
League.
should be doing Justice League. It's like, yeah, I know that, but we're talking Batman animated series, in which case it would be the Batman and then Brave and the Bold.
Spin it however you need to.
I'm not. I'm not spinning it.
No, you are. You are. Yeah, we're gonna ignore this other Batman animated series because he's not in the title. We're gonna ignore that one.
No, I think we should do them. I just think we should do the Batman-centric ones because that's what we've. Yeah. Anyway, never mind.
Okay. Next message.
Realistically, shouldn't we then be doing Superman the animated series next?
We should be doing those episodes where Batman shows up.
Well, I'm down for that.
But I mean, yeah, I feel like we had votes for that in the past. Anyway, all right. Next one is from Mark Jurasevic. It says, "Hey, Batcasters, I was wondering what version of the Joker you think suits the Batman best. I was not impressed with the Joker teased in the Batman film. I think that the villainous nature comes from the performance rather than the over-the-top physical manifestations like self-mutilation. Therefore, I think the Joker version represented by Joaquin Phoenix would be my pick and suits the Batman universe well. Do you think there's a chance that this version could be incorporated, or is it likely to remain standalone? Also, now that Henry Cavill has another potential franchise in addition to The Witcher, with Matthew Vaughn's Argylle coming soon, do you think he'll have time to don the cape again? Matthew Vaughn was keen to make a fun Man of Steel sequel, so now the two of them can make it happen. Oh, was keen to make it. Okay, got it. I think WB may be more receptive to this than when Christopher McQuarrie and Cavill made their pitch. Take it easy, stay trimmed, Mark." Thanks, Mark. For the Joker, I know Brendan and I agree with you about the one that was teased in the Batman. I don't think either of us, we didn't love that version.
But here's the thing, Andy. Since last week's episode,
okay,
I watched the deleted scenes with director's commentary.
Okay.
And do you know, this is directly out of the mouth of Matt Reeves.
I can't imagine what you're going to say.
The Joker we meet in that prison cell isn't yet the Joker that we know, that he'll become. He's the Joker before the Joker. Can you believe that?
I cannot. I am shocked and amazed by that piece of information.
Right?
Thank you for sharing.
Now it makes sense.
Right. Right. Do you have an answer for Mark's question? If it's not that Joker, is there another Joker you think would fit better?
Look, yes, probably the Joaquin version, but again, like that movie is its own thing. Like it's set in the 70s. Like, I mean, I know they don't specifically state when the Batman is set, but it's set in modern times. Like, just look at the technology and things. Like, it's a modern movie. So
there's text messages and smartphones. So right.
Like you can't use Joaquin's Joker, but that kind of take on the Joker, I think, yes, does work best for the Pattinson movies.
Yeah. So, to answer the final question, like, no, I don't think they're going to incorporate Joaquin's Joker into the Batman universe. I think that is not going to happen. Honestly, I don't want to like pull an existing Joker and say, oh yeah, it should be Jared Leto's Joker, it should be Jack Nicholson's Joker. I think that there was an opportunity for a new Joker, and I think I said this, and I think Barry Keoghan is a perfect choice for it. He already looks like the damn Joker. He's got the curly hair. He's got a long, slender face. He looks like the Joker. He doesn't need all of the prosthetics and all that other nonsense.
Went completely hooked him up.
Yeah, he doesn't need any of that. Like, he was already pretty much there. So that's what I would say. Use the same actor. I mostly liked his performance in the scene, but, like, less is more, you know? Like, just use his damn face that already looks like the Joker. And then as for Henry Cavill, he would make the time to don the cape again. I would say that. And I do think, I love Matthew Vaughn. I think he's great. I didn't even know about Argyle. This is news to me. I have not heard about this, but now I'm excited. And yeah, Matthew Vaughn and Cavill doing a Man of Steel sequel, sign me up. I think it could be awesome. I know that, I do remember them saying that was an interest. I would love it. I don't know if it would happen, but I think it would be great.
Am I supposed to know what Argyle is?
That's what I said. I was like, I had not heard about this. I don't know about it.
Oh, no, okay. I thought you didn't know about the movie. It's sort of, okay. It's a spy film directed. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I that's the first I've heard of it.
Oh, Bryce Dallas Howard's in it. John Cena's in it. Catherine O'Hara. Holy shit. Dua Lipa. Okay. Look, I don't think it rules him out for playing Superman again. I think it definitely rules him out for playing James Bond, which I don't think was going to happen anyway. He had his shot, and it was when Daniel Craig got the role. Yeah. He's too big a star for Bond. They like to sort of go more sort of, a little obscure, and then make them a star, kind of like they did with Henry Cavill and Superman. But yeah, look, if Matthew Vaughn's doing another spy movie and Henry Cavill's in it, like, I'm down. Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right, next email's from Jacob Waxter. It says, what would be your perfect Batman movie? The plot, the characters, the actors, and then finally the title. P.S. If this is Andy, your connection with the LGBTQ plus community is amazing and inspiring, and it's nice to hear a Batman fan like me. Thank you for your show. It's helped my boredom through the past few years. Jacob, thank you for the message. And happy Pride. So I appreciate that. And so I guess we're pitching our ideal Batman movie.
See, I think this is one of those questions that, like, I mean, this
should be an episode.
This is the draft. This is the draft pick. This is what the draft pick is.
Okay.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to kind of answer on the fly.
I think that if we wanted to get into detail as far as the plot and the characters and even the actors, I feel like it could be an episode easily of like pitching our ideal Batman films. But I don't know exactly the plot, but I'll just give you the quick overview because I've said it in the past is like my ideal Batman film, especially now, it would be a Batman film that would start where Bruce is already Batman. He's already out there doing his thing. He's already good at what he does. And the film starts at Haley Circus. Ooh. And he meets Dick Grayson. And the death of the Graysons is what kicks off the film. And so the film is really about Bruce taking in Dick and training him. Stop it. Why? Come on, you're so immature. You're so immature.
If you're going to use my grab for last week, you should probably use your own for the end of this week.
I said he's taking in Dick. I didn't say he's taking Dick. There's two different...
He's still taking it. Okay, never mind. Keep going.
Listen, you. But yes, it is truly a movie that is about Dick Grayson taking on the mantle of Robin. And... who will they fight? I don't know. Like again, I don't know what the threat is. You know, my gut says the Riddler or Mr. Freeze just because they're my favorites. Because why not? But as far as what are they up to in Gotham that necessitates the creation of Robin, that I would have to work out. But I would truly want it to be a movie that the emotional core is Bruce opening himself up to having the surrogate son in Dick Grayson and taking on a partner, and it becomes Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Look, I mean, one of my answers is the obvious one that I think everyone wants to see is a Batman movie set at Arkham Asylum with some sort of massive catastrophe that Batman has to contain. Like that's a no-brainer. But I don't know, it's just this thing that keeps popping into my head, and it has for a long time. And if it may exist, I don't know. If it does, I've never read it or seen it. but a movie that brings in a character we haven't seen on the big screen before in Leslie Tompkins, and some sort of, not necessarily finding out that Bruce Wayne's Batman, because we've been there before, but them finding out that there's a connection between Leslie and Batman, that they have a relationship, and doing something with or to Leslie Tompkins to get to Batman, and it really, not to the point of like say BVS, but it really pissing Batman off, like it's hit him where it hurts. You know, someone who he cares about has become a victim, and when obviously I like to see the Bat family incorporated, because that's, we've said for a long time, like that's what I want to see, or wanted to see in the next iteration of Batman movies. But yeah, I don't know what it is, and I don't even know why, but I just have this thing of someone using Leslie to get to Batman.
Yeah. I think there's something there, and you're right. It's something that hasn't really been explored, at least in the films.
No. And even like in the animated series, where I think we've seen the most of her, she's been in, like, what is it Appointment in Crime Alley? You know, the one where they're going to blow up that part of Gotham. But yeah, that one, like, she's involved, but she's not, you know, the primary target.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next message is from Mohammed. It says, "Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. It's been a while since I've written. During this time, I've opened Letterboxd. Safe to say, Andy, I'm disappointed that you don't have Hot Fuzz in your watch list. Jamie's list is truly diverse, if I say so myself. I've seen the recent Black Adam trailer. My reaction is that I'm whelmed. For all the hierarchy is going to change jokes, it truly feels like the JSA is going to be an important part of the DCU moving forward. However, I'm not sure I'm a fan of certain changes shown in the trailer. I'm fine with Black Adam being a morally gray character, but with The Rock's popularity and the way the story beats are shown, the most likely scenario is him becoming a reluctant hero, or at best, or a full-on good guy at worst. Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate is as close to perfection as you could get. I'm sorry for this, Andy, but I've been in the camp where Ezra needs help, and there's no need to recast them. However, after the most recent allegations and counter-allegations, I am now in the camp of recasting him ASAP. They're far too unstable, and the increasing severity of the crimes being reported will make future Flash projects hard to process, and will further damage the already fractured DC brand. I saw one comment on Reddit being Marvel's worry about what spoilers Tom Holland would leak that day, and for DC, it's what crimes Ezra would commit that day. It was morbidly funny. Well, being a DC fan with its burdens of drama, and sometimes the burden is too much to bear. Oh well, what are your thoughts? Sorry for the long email. Take care, Andy, and go watch Hot Fuzz. It's one of the best movies ever. Peace. Mohammed, I've seen Hot Fuzz. What? Here's the thing. Here's the difference between me and Jamie. I started a Letterboxd account, and from that day, I started adding movies like as I watched them. Jamie started a Letterboxd account and went back and added every movie he's ever seen. I didn't do that. So when I watch something or rewatch it, that's when I log it in Letterboxd. So Letterboxd is pretty much only accurate from the day I created it. I didn't go backwards and add every movie I've ever seen. So I've seen Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz is awesome. I love the Cornetto trilogy. I think they're all great. So yes, I just haven't put it in Letterboxd. So anyway, thanks for your notes on Black Adam. Like I said, I don't think they can make Black Adam a full-on good guy. I don't think they can, because you know he has to fight Shazam. So they've got to keep some sort of villainous side to him, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense for him to fight Shazam. So I do think it's more about he's going to become a reluctant hero in the context of this film.
It seems like he and I are kind of on the same page. Like, whelmed is actually the perfect word to describe how I felt. I could have summed it all up in one word. But one thing that I did see doing the rounds, was it yesterday or the day before? I don't know if you saw this. And I don't know if it's true or not, but it wouldn't surprise me, that apparently The Rock has a clause in his contract that he can't lose fights in a movie. He has to win. So if that's a real thing, and he goes up against Shazam, what do you do? Because he has to lose against Shazam. He just has to.
Yes, I know. I agree. I do wonder what are the details of that, because I certainly have heard for the Fast and Furious films, like he and Vin Diesel, like neither of them can look better than the other. So like when they trade punches, it has to be an equal amount of punches. They have to give out and take the equal amount of punches, so neither of them can look like they lost to the other one. So my guess is it's something like that. But yeah, like if you're going to play Black Adam and you're going to fight Shazam, sorry, you're right, Shazam has to win.
Yeah, and look, eventually, hopefully, one day Superman, like,
yeah,
Superman can't lose. Like,
yeah,
you know, like no.
So, but I want to think that The Rock is smart enough and reasonable enough to understand that.
But he's an anti-hero, Andy. Don't forget. He's not a villain. He's an anti-hero.
Yeah. As for the Ezra situation, here's what I will say is that, yeah, you never know what's going to happen every day. But there are certainly conflicting reports, and I don't know what to believe. My character flaw is I give people the benefit of the doubt maybe way too long. I've done it too long, and I've done it a lot of times, but hey, it's what I do. So who knows the truth behind these recent allegations, but I will say I have gotten to the point where I mostly agree in that the Flash movie is made. You're not going to remake the movie. That's not going to happen. Release the movie as it is. That's the movie. Then recast the role, because if Ezra's not going to get the help, if Ezra's not going to straighten up, is not going to clean up their life, then we don't need to deal with it. As far as DC fans, recast. There have been many other Flashes. There can be many more. Because, yeah, we don't need the drama.
I don't really have anything to add to that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you and I talked about it before recording because I didn't know if it was going to come up or not. And we're kind of on the same page. Like, yeah, I can't really add to what you just said. You kind of summed it up perfectly.
All right. All right. Next message is from our pal Jim Scroggs, who was on the last episode. Hi, Jim. You know what's funny about this email is, Jim, I had the same exact thought after we finished the episode, but here's what Jim says. He says, it hit me after our recording. This is in reference to the email we got from Catherine about casting drag queens as Batman characters. I also should note that after we recorded that, Catherine had already done a whole casting. She had a whole list for me to share after the episode.
Okay.
She's got her list. Anyway, so Jim says, it hit me after our recording that Valentina could be Bane in the DC drag episode because she couldn't take off the mask. Also, Brendan, what Australian Olympians would you pick to create a Justice League? I'm assuming that Ian Thorpe is Aquaman, but I'm a dumb American.
Yeah, of course he is.
Thanks, Jim. Always good to hear from you. And do you know what's, like you said, as soon as we hung up, I was like, oh, of course, Valentina would be Bane. She'd be the tiniest Bane in history because she is very small. But yes, because she couldn't take off the mask, I thought the same thing. So, but as for Australian Olympians, dude, you're on your own. I know nothing.
God, that's something I'd really need. The only other one that comes to mind straight away is I would have to race and gender swap the Flash to be Kathy Freeman, who is our most famous track and field athlete of all time, Indigenous Australian. Most famously lit the cauldron in Sydney and then went on to win the 400 metres in Sydney as well. So she would be the Flash. Yeah, that's a really good question, and they're the only two that come to mind, and I don't want to waste everyone's time while I sit here in silence trying to think about it. Maybe I'll try and put something together, and the next time I'm on, I'll give you an answer.
Okay. All right.
He looks forward to that with bated breath.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I'll do drag queens. You do Olympians, and
I mean, we both know about the same amount as the other.
The two will never. Yeah, the two will never overlap. Although Catherine wanted me to remind you that Drag Race now does Down Under seasons.
I know.
So you could watch those, and then you'd know more Australian drag
Oh,
queens.
look, Stan over here in Australia, the streaming service has all the RuPaul stuff, like all of it. I don't know, it's just not doesn't really interest me.
But I mean, you get sucked in. You know, one of the things from Drag Race that I've been wanting to say to you for so long is that I appreciate your charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
I like that.
Yeah.
It sort of takes over from the caring, understanding 90s type from back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Look, and it's not the whole drag queen thing either.
Yeah, whatever, you homophobe. Get the hell off my show.
I just don't like reality television. I really don't. Like,
That's fine.
I used to watch Beauty and the Geek, and that was a huge guilty pleasure. Like, I kind of hated myself for watching it, but even that I got over very quickly. Like, it's not my thing.
No, that's fine. All right, so one last email here from our pal Stephen Marshall. It says, hey guys, do you have plans to review the 2 additional Batman Beyond crossover episodes? He and Bruce appeared in the Zeta Project, Shadows, and also in Static Shock, Future Shock, which is a personal favorite of mine. I feel like your Batman Beyond review series will be incomplete without these 2. Keep up the great work. Kind regards, Stephen. I don't even know where to find Zeta Project. I looked on HBO Max. It's not there. I had no idea that Batman showed up in it, but I'm intrigued to see it. And then Static Shock is on HBO Max, so that might be worth it. I didn't know about these, but the completist in me is now twitching because I'm like, oh shit, do we do it?
Well, I don't have access to any of them. And I don't even know if I'd be able to find them on the 7 Seas. They're pretty obscure.
Yeah.
Static Shock, maybe.
Static Shock you should be able to
imagine
find.
the other one.
But Zeta Project was something I didn't even know existed until someone wrote into the show.
Look, to me, personally, I feel it's complete. I think we've ticked that box. I think we can move on.
Okay.
Look, if you want to do an episode of those 2, that one out.
Well, I'll try to remember.
Just for sheer logistics, I might try and sit it out. But yeah.
Yeah, I really am curious as to how to even find the Zeta Project. That's crazy. So I appreciate the heads up, Stephen. This was kind of a cruel email to send. Steven. Yeah. But I appreciate the heads up. Stephen also did send another email. It's worth acknowledging. But it was all about what we thought should happen with Henry Cavill as Superman. And I got the hunch that he sent that email before he listened to last week's episode.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because we covered it in great detail on last week's episode. Because then he tweeted saying, oh, he appreciated what we had to say about it. So we're not going to cover it because I feel like we did cover it on last week. And that's it for the mailbox. Woohoo! Look at us go. All right. Closing it up. If you've got something for the Wayne Manor mailbox, you can send that to Holy BatCast at rf4rm.com. But we're closing it for now. I should warn you that next week I am going out of town, going back to Illinois to see friends and family and bring in the baby so she can meet family members that she has not met yet. So the next 2 episodes will be a little out of time, and so they will not have the Wayne Manor mailbox. So just letting you know. But send stuff to the Wayne Manor mailbox and I'll catch up with it once I get back into town. But you know what this could mean, Brendan? Could
2
mean
weeks. So June 19th, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't wait to see what's going to come out that week.
I know. Well, what I was going to say is because I'm out of town, something big might happen.
That's true.
You know, we might get some huge earth-shattering reveal, and I'll be in Illinois trying to make a podcast work.
If only I had a show that I could have done an emergency episode on with Jamie or something, but
no, it'll just have to wait.
Because for people who don't know, I ended the nightlight during the week, so
yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to say anything about that.
Yeah, I mean, I put a statement out. It's one of those things, like, just since Henry's come along and everything, and it's not even, I mean, yeah, finding time is hard, but also, I don't know, like, this show is a huge part of. It's going to sound really terrible, but this show is a huge part of kind of why I've sort of lost the passion a bit for the Nightlight. Was just because I started that show when I didn't have an outlet, and that show led me to my guest spot on Holy BatCast originally back in early 2016, and then it from there kind of forged our friendship, and then our friendship led to me being on the show as a recurring guest, and then that kind of led to me becoming fully fledged part of the team. And this show gives me that outlet, and as far as creating a show, well, I've still got my Olympic Games one, which a new episode of that is hopefully being recorded in the next week or so. So I can still do the creative side of it with that show. And in terms of speaking about my geeky stuff, which is essentially DC stuff, let's be honest, this kind of scratches the itch. So I was like, hey, I can save myself, it's actually almost close to $200, I think, Australian for the yearly subscription and everything to Podbean, and it's just going to sit there, and I'm not getting my money's worth. And I felt like I was stringing listeners along going, yeah, well, I'll do another episode eventually, when I just kind of don't have the drive anymore. So I was like, you know what? And look, the completist in me, and I was messaged about it, I did end it on 98 episodes. It would have been nice. But look, hey, in saying that too, the last time I recorded a Nightlight, everything went to shit, and I lost the episode. And that really
God,
hurt.
that's right.
So it could have been 99 episodes, but look, I made the call. I'm not disappointed about it. I think it was the right call to make, and yeah, so. And look, I've kept it so the stream is still there. You can still get the episodes. And, if I ever want to do something one day, I can restart it. But I don't know. I already have plans for something I'd like to do in a couple of years in the future when Henry's a little bit older, and do something with him. And yeah, so we'll see.
Farewell, the Nightlight. Goodbye.
The Nightlight's dead. Bury it.
It's like the end of BVS. I'm like Lois, just dropping dirt on top of the casket.
Dirt. Yeah, but this dirt's not going to hover and.
All right. Well, Brendan, thanks. I hope that this episode scratched your itch for the week, so Nightlight could stay dead one more week.
It did, and do you know what I don't have to scratch?
What?
Itchy balls, because I take care of them.
Thank God. Thank God. You're worth it.
I am.
Anyway, thanks again. Tell everybody where they can find you. That does not include the Nightlight.
You can find me on Twitter at Lowy007, and around the Real Fans groups. That's where I always am.
Yep. All right. I already told you where to find me. Thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for downloading the show. Please do subscribe or follow the show wherever you get your podcasts. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. If you like the show, you rate and review us. If you don't like the show, it's fine. You can keep that to yourself. I don't need to know. But if you like it, rate and review it. Please visit holybatcast.com or find Holy BatCast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. Again, if you've got something for the Wayne Manor mailbox, you can send that to holybatcast@rf4rm.com. Our theme music was created by Gaurav Venkateswar. His work can be found at gvtunes.com. And don't forget to go shopping this week at manscaped.com. Peruse the site, find yourself something that you want to try out, but when you do, don't forget to use our promo code BATSCAPED. That'll do it. On behalf of Brendan, I've been Andy. We'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Holy BatCast is not affiliated with Warner Brothers or DC Entertainment. The views and opinions shared by the participants are theirs and theirs alone and do not represent the companies or organizations they happen to work for.
In this world, there are heroes.
I feel the pain in my city wherever I go.
And there are villains. Heroes don't kill people.
Well, I do.
Bruce has got to take in Dick. There are movies like that.
Yeah,
FYI.
really only ever seen the Batman 66 one. Which I've always said is the only porno I was more interested in the plot than...
wasn't bad.
No, and like they, in terms of accuracy and stuff, they were pretty bang on.
Pretty good. Bang on indeed. That's correct.